Other guys. This video today, I wanted to come and I wanted to talk about a video that I saw that is actually, it really goes in line with a video that I already wanted to make. And when I saw that, I'm like, okay, well, that's perfect. Let me go ahead and get that video out because I've been actually wanting to make that video for a while. And sometimes I wait and then something will pop up or a thought or just all kinds of ways I get inspired. But this one was perfect timing because like I said, I've been wanting to talk about this topic. And then when I saw this video, it just led right into it. So I'm going to set the video up a little bit. It was a video that I saw on social media. It don't really matter where, because at this point, all these videos and things get spread and all that anyway. So it doesn't matter. But anyway, this video, I am thinking it is a skit because just the way things have been working on social media is more likely a skit. So this young lady was home. She had a little boy right there with her. It wasn't her son, but there was a little boy, 4, 5, 6-ish. And this was a black lady, black child. The man as well sounded like he was black. I didn't see them. But she is sitting there on the bed with her Popeye's chicken. The little boy is just kind of laying there on the bed beside her. Could have been watching TV or something. I'm not really sure. But he seemed to be pretty content. Dad comes home and, Dad's like, oh, okay, so you bought some chicken or whatever, and some kind of way they got around to, well, what did he eat, And she was just, at the end of the day, it was the fact that he came home, he saw his girlfriend or whatever sitting there, eating, and the child wasn't eating. So he starts to inquire. He wants to know basically what's going on. She's like, he's like, well, what did he eat? Did he already eat or whatever? And basically she's like, he had rice. He had the rice that you gave him before you went to work today. And he begins to get upset because he's like, so you saying you didn't feed him nothing else all day? Like, so he didn't get no chicken. You didn't buy him anything or anything like that. He just had the rice that he had for breakfast before I left home. Like, I've been at work all day long and you ain't fed my son nothing. And she was pretty nonchalant. Her response was, no. Basically, she was like, that's not my responsibility. Like, you're supposed to have food for him or, whatever. And so she said, I gave him a fry. But at the end of the day, the dad was upset. And when you're looking at it, and especially when you're looking at it from like an emotional standpoint, when you're looking at it from like a child's standpoint, you're like, you eating in front of a child. Like back in the day, that was just something like you don't eat in front of a child. You know what I'm saying? You either eat after them or you eat with them. And a lot of people still think that way today, But she didn't really seem to be very, very concerned or anything about the child. She said, well, you call his mom or whatever. And he was just like, well, his mom is nowhere in the picture. So like, and another thing she said was, I don't cook. Like, I don't cook for myself. What would make you think I'm going to cook for your child? Sounds cold, but she's kind of right. And I'll tell you why. Trying to think if there was anything else that she said that kind of like really stuck out. I think for the most part, it was really just her attitude, just really nonchalant. Now, what I make of the video, skit or not, we're going to use the things that we have in the video to talk about the video. This young lady, in my opinion, was very attractive young lady. She seemed to be probably somewhere in her 20s. Um, she looked to have a really nice body. Um, I mean, yeah, but the whole body language and everything was just kind of, almost like turned away from the child and whatever, just not, um, anything motherly, parenty, or anything like that. So the dad is reminding her that, well, you my son's stepmom or whatever, and she didn't seem to be gravitating to that. It was kind of, in my opinion, like, I'm here with you, I'm your woman, girlfriend, whatever, and this child is just here, he's yours. So there were lots of comments. I didn't get through all of them. There were a lot of comments. Basically, from an emotional standpoint, and I say that again, and like I said, I'm going to tell you why. It was, oh, well, she should have fed the child and, get rid of her. She ain't worth it, whatever, which, going on with the video, the dad did get pretty upset. He started gathering her stuff and everything and, talking about you're going to have to get out and, yeah, you just got to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so another point that really caught my eye was she said that, how you going to put me out, my name on the lease? Now, I'm going to start right there. Because I'm trying to figure out, as a father with a child, a single father with a child, you met a woman at some point. Y'all have got an apartment together. You put her name on the lease, but she don't have a relationship with your kid. Like, I'm trying to figure out how they got all the way to the stage of getting an apartment together, but yet she doesn't seem to be bonded at all with his child. Like, I'm trying to figure out, how did y'all even get to that point? I'm also trying to get to the point of how you just leave your kid with this lady and she doesn't seem to really care at all about a child or whatever. Is this new behavior for her? Like, I don't, I mean, have you left her alone before with the child? Did he eat that time? Like, I mean, I just don't see how this could be your girlfriend and you've already moved in with this woman, to the how it could be that, you know, you didn't know these things about her. So what I have come to discover, and this is the part that I was going to make the video on, and this is the subject, and this is why this video is just so perfect, because I wanted to talk about so many men who have unprotected sex with women. The woman winds up pregnant. Now, don't really matter at that point whose fault it is. My stand is that both adults need to wear protection. Both adults need to be wearing protection. So I'm like I said, I'm trying to figure out how we get to that point. But men, there are a lot of men who, in my opinion, are not very, they're not very big. That's not the word I'm looking for. They're not very good, I guess, at picking women to have their children or to parent their children. It's almost like there's a lot of men who figure like women just have natural instincts of motherhood, or if she has the baby, or once she gets pregnant, those instincts and those natural things are just going to kick in, you know? And it's not true. It's not true at all. Um, Unfortunately, there are so many children year after year who wind up abused. And they wind up abused. I'm sorry, guys. So these children wind up abused year after year, um, in the company of, I'm going to say step parents, period. But since we're talking about women, stepmothers, you know what I'm saying? And even biological mothers. Because men don't seem to get that there are women who don't want children. There really are women who don't take to children, like they don't have those motherly instincts. Now, I will say, I think it's a lot easier for you to have quote unquote motherly instincts if it is your own child. So sometimes that matters, you know. But just the fact that being a mom and parental instincts and motherly instincts and things like that just kick in because a woman gets pregnant or has a child, it's not true. It is not true at all. And like I said, unfortunately, so many children get abused by women who didn't want the children. And there's also this false narrative where there's so many men who literally and honestly believe that women want children. All women want children. Like y'all notice what y'all want. I've literally heard guys on social media telling women, y'all know y'all want children. And it's just like, no, some of them really don't. And some of them really do not. They don't want to be mothers. And so they don't need to be mothers. Every woman isn't just a mother. Like it's not just a thing. And it's so unfortunate because, like I said, you have children that have to suffer for this. And then you have children who come here, they're unwanted. Sometimes there are women, many times. I know, I don't hope, I hope that this is really not so much of a thing nowadays, but back in the day, you had a lot of women who would go and have children or babies or whatever for men because they wanted the man. Now, that ain't so much of a thing right now because there's so many women who are, just like, okay, I'm done with men, wistful movement, whatever. They're not really trying to do that right now. And I understand that as well too. I completely understand that too. But so getting back to this particular situation, I don't really know the point of it because I have seen videos like this, and it seemed to always concern Black people, us. I don't know if there's other ones with other races of people. There could be, but it seems to only be us, and it's always a fight on: do I feed the child? Do I not feed the child? Like, do y'all remember back when? Do y'all remember back when they had that whole big old McDonald's thing, and the dad brought over, I think, like a little burger and a little small fry, a little drink or something like that for his child. And the mom had more kids, and it was just really, really, really ratchet and ghetto. And I don't get my food stamps yet, and I ain't got no food stamps. Or why would you just bring that for him? And I got all these other kids in here, and that was shown to be a skit. But what it does is it just like shows the ratchetness. Like it just shows a ratchet thing. Like she got all these, other kids in this house, and he only got one child by her, but she want him to feed all her kids. And what I mean, it's like a parody. It's like it's just like making fun of single baby mamas or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I think there has been others. Now, this seems to be a childless, what they would call modern woman, who they're depicting as like she's just totally neglecting the child. Now, it's for views, it's probably to make people angry and things like that. I would hope that just normal human something sensitivity would kick in to where an adult wouldn't be sitting around and eating in front of a kid. But if that is the case, at the end of the day, I said the fault is on the dad, because he should have known her better. He should have vetted her better. He should have watched the relationship between her and the kid. I mean, by the time you're leaving your child alone with someone, hopefully you have come to the realization, well, if there's a fire, they're going to get my child out of here. Or, if I don't make it home, they're not going to just up and leave. Or, anything responsible. They're not going to eat in front of my child and don't feed my child all day. Like, you as the parent have to take that responsibility. And I feel like the dad did not do that. If she doesn't have any parental instincts or she doesn't feel any obligation, I mean, at least he could have. And then the other thing I'm trying to figure out, well, so that means you didn't call all day long to check on your child? Like, you didn't call at all? You just left the child all day long, and, and this woman is here with your child, and, you just assuming that she's going to take care of the child, because that's like really what it seems like. Like I said, I fault the dad. I don't know if it wasn't no food in the house. I don't know if dad could have called and like ordered some pizza, or, and that there again is another thing. This is a young, beautiful, whatever woman. Not to say that young, beautiful women can't cook, but if that's not her mindset, like if that's not something she does, then yeah, she is going to tend to be a little bit more self-doubt, because she probably buy stuff for herself, just her, anyway. Now, I get the fact that, she's now a part of a household, but still those type of instincts and those type of selfish, for lack of a better word, behaviors, they have to be checked now that you're in the house with a kid and a guy and a man and all that kind of stuff. You can't just be selfish and only, look after yourself. But at the same time, it's the dad's responsibility to know these things, that, who is he leaving his child with? And like I keep trying to reiterate, the fact that parental and maternal instincts don't just automatically kick in. I mean, I know with me in my situation, with my son, I didn't know nothing. Like, I knew nothing. I was the baby. I had 3 older brothers, whatever, didn't have any sisters. And, my mom was, a little strict. So I didn't really get to go around to different people's houses and families' houses and things like that. So I didn't see a lot, and so I literally had to learn trial and error. I literally had to learn trial and error. But if you go and get a woman who has no children and has no responsibility or connection to your child, you can't just assume those things. I'm like, you really can't, I think that's really about all I really wanted to say about that video. I'm quite sure it is a skit. There was a lot of high emotions in the video and everything. But, this is why I also say that grown people, men and women, have to take responsibility for who they sleep with. Men literally just share their DNA with almost anybody. And if she get pregnant, oh, well, she got pregnant. And it's a horrible thing. I mean, people always talk about women abusing kids and women don't want the child, or, and they talk about abortion and all of these type things. But don't y'all think that it's just as bad for a man to go around just sharing his seed with any woman and then literally leaving the child with that woman, and he don't even know her? Many times he just, I don't want to sound vulgar, but he's literally just going around having sex with women. I'll be nice. He's just having sex with women. Don't know these women, don't want to know these women, don't want to have any kind of relationship, future, or anything with these women, have no intent, probably of ever even seeing them again. But because he is having unprotected sex and just out there shooting it, you know, what do you expect? And then they get mad when these women put them on child support. They get mad when these women demand money, because I don't think they look at it from the standpoint of, you have interrupted this woman's life. That's literally what you have done. By getting her pregnant, by making sure that you were not using protection, you know that penis and vagina equal baby. 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, or whatever. Eventually, if y'all both are fertile, it's going to produce a baby. And I think it's just as reckless for a man to be out here just spreading his seed and don't care where he spread it. And then, like I say, have audacity to get mad, have audacity to be upset with the woman because she don't want the child, or she neglects the child, or she puts him on probation, not probation, but put him on child support or whatever. And it's baffling to me. It's baffling how in 2024 this is still going on. This is still happening. Like, I think the teenage pregnancy rate has gone down for many years, and now, but we're still having full grown adults, like full grown adult men out here just shooting their seed inside of strange women. And then, I mean, I honestly don't know what the man expect, just for them to have their baby and be happy, and it's a wonderful, loving family, and she ain't gonna need nothing from you. She's not gonna ever struggle. She can take care of the child or what have you. And that's a fantasy. That's not the fact that these men don't think about their seed is really it. And it would be very, very unfortunate if that was a real incident and that actually really did happen. But like I say, child abuse is, I mean, it's still out there. Like, um, people are still abusing children. That's Storm, y'all. That's half of his tail, but that's Storm. So, but anyway, you guys, I would like to know what you think. We've seen many videos like that, but in my opinion, I really feel like this, not that the woman didn't have any responsibility. That's kind of a moral issue. As bad as it sounds, that's almost a moral issue. But I put this on the dad. If he didn't have no food in there, or if he, like, you're here with a woman who does not cook, and she told you she doesn't cook. And yeah, she bought herself some food. Well, you probably should have called back and checked on your child to, because the baby was big enough to tell his daddy what he ate. He's big enough to tell you, that I'm hungry, I didn't eat, or whatever. So you should have called back and you should have talked to your son. You should have picked a better woman. you just can't take things for granted. You really can't just take for granted that if a woman is with you, she has maternal instincts. They don't go hand in hand. There are so many women out there who they for real don't want children. And like I say, men will argue women down that, oh, y'all know y'all want children and, everyone want a kid. But no, they really don't. Honestly and truly, I'm going to tell y'all this and I'm going to go ahead and cut off the video. Um, there was a time when I was really watching a lot of the Married at First Sight. I think that's what it's called, Married at First Sight show. And I would watch these shows because I was looking at patterns. One of the patterns that's relevant to this video is that usually on that show, not that the women didn't want to have children. What I saw was that a lot of the women wanted to like continue their career, or they wanted to like travel and do things and maybe have a baby within like a year or two or something like that. Men, for the most part that I saw, wanted to have children right away. They wanted to get, like, one of these guys, I remember, he was talking about he trying to have a honeymoon baby. And I'm sitting up here like, dude, like, this is Married at First Sight. Like, you don't even know her. What do you, and it was a black guy. It was a black guy, so it's something in the psyche, and again, that's not to say that other men don't do that. They do, but I don't know where we got it backwards that babies come first. Like, love is not even most of the time anywhere in the room. It's just baby, sex and baby. And these children grow up not feeling wanted, not feeling loved. Now, in this video, they were sitting there arguing and saying all this in front of the child. Horrible. Horrible. Y'all could have went to another room. You could have sent the kid into the living room, watch some TV, or do something for a minute or whatever, by yourself. We grown-ups need to talk. That was another thing, that I remember growing up. It used to be a such thing called grown folks' business. And you as a child were just not finna be sitting up in the face with grown people talking about grown people stuff. That was a grown folk conversation. That child did not need to be a part of that conversation. And before y'all have the conversation, Dad, because apparently the woman wasn't finna do it, Dad, you need to kind of go in there and find your child something to eat, or get a pizza on the way, or something. We already are in a fast food generation. Like, people don't even really cook anymore. I'm gonna do a video talking about that too, because there has been some things that have popped up with young people. And it has very much, in my opinion, to do with the fact that people aren't even cooking anymore. So I know that sounds strange right now, but just wait for the video. I'm gonna make that video. But yeah, you guys, I've gone on enough. There's really nothing else to it. I do believe it was a skit, but let me know what you think. That my opinion is that it was the dad's responsibility. Sure, morally, yeah. Human to human type thing, yeah. Of course she should have fed that baby. Of course she could have got the baby something when she got herself. Of course. But again, people abuse children. There's a lot of men even that get with women and children, and they have the responsibility. Hey, my child, he got a dad. They, my child, don't call me daddy. Da, da, da. How do you even be around a child acting like that? I don't understand how. It could never be me. It could never be me. That you're in my house with my children, and then you're gonna sit there and tell me I ain't their daddy, and I don't do nothing for them. Them your kids. Never. Never. It ain't that much desperation in the world that I'm going to have you in my house and that is going to be your attitude. That's a whole nother argument. But you guys, please hit the like button. Please hit all notifications. Please hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. I really, really appreciate it. I ask you to continue, hit the subscribe button. Um, Let me know what you think. Hit all notifications so that you'll know when I upload new videos. You guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And until the next video, see you next time.